to my YouTube channel. Today I am here to talk to you guys about engaging your readers. When I started doing 26 Degrees too, I got to chapter 7, and I realized something, that I want to go back to do each of my chapters and reread them to see if my chapters are engaging enough to grab my readers, because I think that part 1, 26 Degrees, is very engaging, and I want the same thing for 26 Degrees 2. Some readers uses expected twists and unanswered questions in every chapter, and I think that's something that I want to do, but yet gradually give you little hints in between in each chapter, or maybe every other chapter. And then some authors build deep characters to simply draw. Like for instance, I have an example. Okay, I have something I wrote. His plot twist can also feel cheap to the readers. For example, O. Henry short story seems a little less than serious because as a reader you go long through the story until you get to a plot twist at the very end that you don't see coming at all. Instead of being able to see yourself as clever for anticipation, this twist, you feel like the author held important pieces of information from you. If you do a plot twist, you have to give your readers clues. And I think that I did in some of the chapters where I did give my readers some clues, and this is in 26 Degrees 2. And I feel as though because there was so much going on and so much action going on, that I kind of like took a break, but then yet I try to come back and pick it up in another chapter. And then when Chase tried to tell Michelle something, then Val came in to discuss about Big Ronnie and Latifah. So it kind of backfired and got put on hold again while they went after Khalid, because Casey's missing. So, and I don't want to spoil it for you guys on 26 Degrees 2, because this is actually 26 Degrees 2, not 26 Degrees 1. And yet part 1 hadn't came out yet, and I'm already working on part 2. I just couldn't, let them rest, because I had so much fun doing part 1 that I wanted to go ahead and get part 2 out while I'm actually engaged in the characters. So I believe that if you pretty much get your plots and have your characters, like for instance, Casey, I feel as though is a deep character because the fact that he's not married, number 1. Number 2, he's only had one woman so far that he pretty much got more attached to than the others, and that's in part 1 of 26 Degrees. And then there were other women along the way, but now he's getting kind of close to another character in part 2, when he was just trying to get into that same character in part 1, but he had to close another chapter in his life. But she got put on witness protection program, so he could not see himself in a relationship with her, because she's in the witness protection program with the through the CIA, through the government. So he wind up getting involved with another woman, but yet just not yet, because she doesn't know how he actually truly feels. So I don't want to spoil that for you people, you guys, but I believe in engaging my readers, and I think that in part 1 of 20 Degrees, I think that I hit it dead on the nail on each chapter. Now I'm trying to go back and reread part 2, all the chapters that I've done on part 2, to see if I pretty much engage you all by rereading them and see what I actually done. Now I know that I have a lot to put inside each chapter, because it's so much going on with Chase, Casey, Val, Big Ronnie, and Michelle. So, and not only Miller, their boss, but his daughter, you know, because he found out something about his daughter, you know, and I don't want to spoil that for you guys either, because Miller, their boss, some little issues that's going on in his family, he found out at the end of the chapter of the book, and the first book of 20 Degrees, the last chapter, that I pretty much spit that out, because the daughter was trying to get her dad to come over for dinner, and each time she tried to get her dad to come over for dinner, something would come up, because they were in the middle of trying to catch the bad guys on part 1. But then at the end, the very last end of the book, I put that explosion out, but I gradually worked that in there, you know, but it was like in the middle of the book. So now in part 2, I want to try to work in the little twist that I have in each chapter, but yet they have other explosions too. So I'm just trying to gradually work this stuff inside the book, and so now I'm gonna go back and reread all the chapters that I've actually done on part 2 of 26 Degrees, because I want part 2 to be just as engaging as my first book of 26 Degrees, because then when you guys read part 1, then you'll know pretty much that part 2 is going to be just as good as part 1. So I try to engage you all, and that's what I'm trying to put up there to you guys that wants to come out being an author, you know, engage your readers, really engage your readers, really thicken that plot, really put do your research and write what kind of plots are you looking to develop, and make sure your characters are you have at least 1 or 2 deep characters that you can pretty much put in those situations to have your chapters to be so much engaged. And I think that Chase and Casey are 2 of them that I built their characters to really have a deep engagement going on in each chapter. Val is a little bit mysterious, and then they found out some things about Val in part 1, and then at the end of the chapter, at the end of the book, they found some things about Chase's life, and but then Casey was still a mystery. So Casey's somewhat kind of like unfolding in season in part 2 of 26 Degrees, and that's what I'm trying to do right now, is pretty much somewhat focus on Casey, but not as much, because Chase have a story to tell as well. Not only Chase, you have Big Ronnie, and you also have Val, because you have Big Ronnie and Val that are orphans. They don't know their family. They don't know who their biological mom and dads are. So maybe in part 3, that'll be something that I can bring out, you know, and you know, to put, you know, who's going to be their fathers, who's going to be their mothers. You know, there could be some important people. Then again, there could be assassins. Who knows? You know, and they didn't want to raise their kids in that particular environment, so they gave them for adoption. I don't know. You know, so it's 26 Degrees. It's a clueless book. And I am trying to get you guys to know that build your characters to where they have a life of unexpected things in their past that can come up in the future in your book. That's very engaging as well. So just remember, you can do it in each chapter or every other chapter, or you can do little tidbits in between each chapter to try to get to that explosion. So now I'm going to end this on, guys, I thank you so much for following me on my YouTube. Follow me on my Instagram as well. Down below I will be putting my Instagram account, so you can come up and comment and pretty much tell me, you know, what exactly are you looking for when you do engagements in your book. Let me know what you think about this video. I comment on everyone that leaves me a comment down below. Until then, you guys, love you.